And we're live.
Hey everybody, it's Jill with Jill for Today. And today is bread day.
Yay!
Yeah, the director is so happy.
Will there be butter with that bread?
High chances are high. Okay, this is probably like one of the simplest bread recipes I've ever made. And I have made bread for many years. And this is a basic whole wheat. Do it in your mixer, hand mixer if you don't have a mixer, or you can even do this by hand. It's just with a spoon. Very easy, very friendly. A lot of accommodations can be made with this recipe. So we're going to start out with 2 cups of hot milk. I've got a solution here. 2 cups of hot milk, which you heat up. I did it in the microwave, gave it about 3.5 minutes. You take it out and you add 1/3 cup of molasses and 1.5 teaspoons of salt and 2 tablespoons of oil. And then you let this mixture come to a lukewarm temperature. Interestingly enough, I looked up online why you scald milk. And that's really what I was doing when I heated the milk up. It's called scalding. And the reason that you scald milk is that it actually helps with the gluten production when you make any kind of a baked item. Bread, rolls, donuts, it doesn't matter.
Donuts?
Donuts. If it's a yeast product, scalding the milk, even though you bring it back down to a normal temperature, there is something about the enzymes in the milk that actually help you get a higher lift on your flour. So what we have here then is the cooled down milk, 1/3 cup of molasses, 2 tablespoons of oil, and
salt,
and 1.5 teaspoons of salt. So that, I'm sorry.
Isn't there something else in there? Is that yeast floating on top?
There is a little yeast. I just cleaned a spoon off. I have yeast. Yes, it is yeast. And I'm going to get to the yeast. So then I have here 1 tablespoon of yeast, which I have proofed, is what they call it, in 1/4 cup of hot water, not scalding, but just good hot water. And if you stir it up, which the director did for me, it suddenly starts to foam. And that shows you that indeed your yeast is alive and it's ready, it's hungry, it's ready to eat sugar and flour. So we're going to add that now into the...
Is that kind of why beer foams?
It is.
The yeast
very good. That's director. You should have been a chemist or something. That's right, because the yeast it eats on the wheat and the grain, the hops, the barley, all those things that are in beer, and there you have your foam. Okay, so now I'm going to use my standing mixer. Again, you could use a hand mixer. If you don't have a hand mixer, you can use a wooden spoon in a bowl. So we're going to pour all this into my mixer. And then I have here 4 1/3, isn't that an odd amount, but 4 1/3 cups of whole wheat flour. I happen to have a wheat grinder, which I've had for many years. And so I ground my flour today because whole wheat flour really is better when it's fresh. If it sits around too long, it will go rancid on you. The oils in it go rancid. So I'm going to pour all of the measured out flour here, the 4 1/3 cups. I'm going to get that in there. And then I last time added flax seed and sunflower seeds, and that's what I'm going to do again today. And I suspect really at this point you could add any kind of thing that you might like to have it get a little,
We talked about adding caraway, didn't we?
That was with the rye.
Okay.
You're right, but we are going to do a rye loaf of this. So I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of flax seed. And then I'm also going to add 3 tablespoons of sunflower seed. These are just raw. I wouldn't use roasted salted. Don't put those in there. But a nice raw sunflower seed will work just great. So there's 3 tablespoons of that. I'm going to put it on the stand mixer
And
here.
if you want your bread to come out like commercial bread in the store, then you add a 5-pound sack of sugar, right?
Yeah, that's the truth. Okay, so I'm going to get this on. I'm going to get this rolling, and I'm just going to need to mix it really well, and I will get it started, and we will be back.
I can feel the goodness starting already.
All right, so we have a a nice batter, really. It's not a thick dough, it is a batter.
Smells weedy and yeasty at the same time.
And I let this beat for about, it was less than a minute, probably about 45 seconds. So I'm going to just scrape down the sides here and see, it's like a batter. It's just like a, well, I think it's even looser than a, when you do a quick bread. But this is a yeast bread, so it's not considered a quick bread. I'm going to put a piece of plastic wrap over this, and I'm going to let it double in size, which will take, I don't know, a couple hours probably. We'll keep watch on it. And I will bring you back when we can see how it has risen and what the next step will be. All right, we are back. Here is the dough. It's been rising for an hour and a half. So, oh, see that? See all that wonderful network of yeast and dough? So now I'm just going to just kind of break it down, kind of beat down that rise. Just briefly stir it. It smells wonderful. Do you smell that?
I do.
Yeah.
Very yeasty.
Very. It's a good thing. Now I'm going to be putting it into a loaf pan, which I have put some nonstick spray in.
Is it time for tasting yet?
Yeah, right. Soon. And I'm just going to kind of.
I'll have to get a couple pounds of butter out of the
You
refrigerator.
should probably should get some so it softens up, right? Okay, so I'm going to put some saran wrap over this, and I'm going to let it rise again. Rise. Which should it be? Rise. Rise. Another 30 minutes. It's not going to quite double, and that's how we are at this point. Our bread is now ready to go into the oven. Here it is. It did rise a little more than I had expected, but that's a good thing. It's going into a 375 degree oven and will bake for approximately 45 minutes. And then we will bring it out. Right on in.
Here it goes.
There it
Goodbye.
goes. There it goes. We'll be back in about 45 minutes to see how it's doing.
Okay. Good luck.
Hey, we have got bread. It's done. It's out. The director's had a sample. I think he's still munching.
I approve.
He approved. It cooked 45 minutes, and it was done. Now, I have to admit, it has a flat top, but, you know, it doesn't take away from this beautiful texture. It's a beautiful textured bread, and it smells wonderful. Okay, I'll take
And it's got a wonderful nutty flavor. I don't know if that's from the flax. I think I taste the sunflower.
It's very tasty. Very
Yep.
tasty indeed. So,
Excellent.
I will be putting the instructions, my mouth is still full. I'll be putting instructions down below on the bread. It's so easy, and you can, like I said, just start throwing anything in there you want. You know, different types of seeds, nuts. You could try the different flours. And I'd make it again. Director, would you have it again?
I certainly would.
Terrific. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. Check it out. Easy
Bread
to make.
for
bread.
today.
And I have to say, bread for today. Do you know how much you would pay for a loaf of whole wheat bread in a store?
Well, first of all, the bread you buy in the store isn't going to have that weight or heft to it.
So very nice.
So
Nice
a
large
little
loaf.
of this bread goes a long way.
All right, folks. Thanks a lot. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll show you something new real soon. Bye-bye.